Hello, this week's lecture is all about influencers and where to find them. When looking at social media, it's imperative to remember the 1% rule. Now, this rule indicates that we need to share, right? And that sharing happens best with influencers. And your influencers are that 1% of your audience, and that 1% will essentially bring 20% of traffic, right? So the 1% of your audience, again, is an influencer or your influencer group, and that 1% will bring 20% of traffic. Now, 1% is also responsible for 30% of conversions, right? So they'll ultimately impact the bottom line. There are four main groups of influencers. Those with a higher volume and who generally, share more of your content are evangelists and influencers. Your standard influencers, they'll generally share a single offer to a targeted audience, whereas your evangelists, they're the core group of regular sharers for your content, and they have a strong following or a strong audience. Chatterboxes and one-timers, on the other hand, they have less volume. So this means that they have smaller audiences or they are sharing your content to a group that is untargeted. Your one timers are not an important influencer group. Essentially, they have low target, their audience is less when compared to, let's say, your evangelists and your standard influencers. Your chatterboxes, which I prefer to call your fans or devoted basement dwellers, have low audiences, right? Even though they have high targets. These are essentially your fans with smaller audiences. And you can often get them to say or to share by simply having social buttons on their site. So again, these people, they love your products, they love your content, right? But they have smaller audiences. All right, so your influencers, your standard influencers, I prefer to call your endorsers. These people have lower targets, but they have a higher volume or a larger audience, right? So they're not necessarily associated with your brand, and they may not be interested in your brand per se beyond the fact that you've reached out to them to have a partnership with them. These include your celebrities, your journalists, your thought leaders, and so forth. They will generally vet you as much as you vet them, right? And they'll give you brand awareness, right? So they'll bring your product or get more eyeballs on your brand. And then they'll add a certain level of legitimacy to your content and your brand. On the other hand, evangelists have high targets and larger audiences. So these might include celebrities, digital celebrities in your field, bloggers, employees, and so forth. In general, your brand will have an ongoing relationship with evangelists, right? These are people that you trust, and they trust you as well. They're generally empowered by your brand, by what it sets out to do, the mission, the vision, and so forth. And you can leverage these people to increase your reach and credibility. When we talk influencers and when we talk humans in general, motivation plays a major role in understanding behavior. So essentially, we want to know what motivates your influencers. Now, for some of them, fame is the motivation. For others, it's money. And for some, it's doing the right thing. And as a result, you'll generally align yourself with influencers who are motivated by what your brand sets out to do. So the big question is, who are your evangelists and where do you find them? You need to start thinking about who drives conversations on your own social media channels, right? Who are the bloggers who are writing or the vloggers who are creating video content about your brand? These are important questions that you need to start asking if you're going to find those key evangelists that will help you bring more eyeballs to your brand. Thank you all for listening to the lecture this week. I hope I was able to share key details with you as you begin to lay the foundation for your careers in social media. Just a quick reminder, your competitive analysis will be due on March 26th. I want to implore you all to begin working on that assignment as no extensions will be granted on that assignment. If you have questions or you're confused about anything related to the assignment, the onus is on you to reach out to me via email. If you need to meet with me, you can request a meeting via email so that I can basically help you work through your questions or your concerns. With that said, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you next week.